It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the 4 films of December 8th, 2006. Today we've got Mel Gibson's follow-up to The Passion of the Christ, a new romantic comedy directed by Nancy Meyers, starring Cameron Diaz and Kate Winslet. We also have Leonardo DiCaprio and Jaimin Hantu in Edward Zwick's latest film, his follow-up to The Last Samurai, and we have a Christmas comedy directed by Paul Feige. Before we get to those movies, though, let's talk about the biggest new release of the weekend, and that is Mel Gibson's Apocalypto. No, we seriously need to call it Mel Gibson's Apocalypto, because if we simply just call it Apocalypto, then nobody's going to go see this movie, clearly. But in the film, set in Yucatan around the year 1517, this portrays the hero's journey of a young man named Jagger Paw, a late Mesoamerican hunter, and his fellow tribesmen who are captured by an invading force. After a raid on their village, they are brought on a perilous journey to a Maya city for human sacrifice at a time when the Mayan civilization is in decline. You can definitely see a lot of positives with the film, but also a lot of questionable things and things that are not that great in general. One of the biggest complaints of the film is that the portrayal of Maya civilization, as well as a lot of the historical inaccuracies of the movie, are very much out in the open. But then again, there are a lot of historical movies out there with a lot of historical inaccuracies, but we buy them, okay? As long as the story itself is good, we can usually buy into it. And not even the story, but as long as there are a lot of the things that we can let go, we can usually let it slide. And there are things to like about the movie. Mel Gibson does a very good job of handling the direction of this film. It's very unique and very different for his part here. There's a lot of really good shots in this movie. That trailer alone, like that shot of the dude in the tree, and while these guys are just underneath it, each just raiding the place. Like, that's a really cool shot, and you gotta give a lot of credit to the cinematographer of the movie, Dean Semler, for that. And, the cast overall is good. They're doing their jobs very well here. Rudy Youngblood leads this cast as a whole, and he's alright in the movie. Everybody here does their job okay. Is it a great movie? I can't really say that for certain, but it is a commendably put together film. I'll say that. I mean, it's not a bad movie by any means necessary, but it's not one of those great awards contenders either. It's just a film that just shows the range that Mel Gibson has as a director as a whole, and you see a lot of what made The Passion of the Christ so unique in its own way, and it's definitely in this movie here, maybe not to the extremes of The Passion of the Christ overall, but it's a film that I would say that if you want to see a visually impressive looking film that works because of some of the good tension-filled moments and some good direction by Mel Gibson and some great cinematography as a whole, watch it for that. If you're going in there expecting one of the year's best movies, I would say lower your expectations a lot, because as much as I think the movie is fine, it definitely feels like a film that should have been a lot better, but could have also been a whole lot worse too. A very mixed opinion on Apocalypto, to say the least. So, with that said, let's move on to the next movie, and that is the star-studded romantic comedy, Cameron Diaz, Kate Winslet, Jude Law, and Jack Black, starring in Nancy Meyers, The Holiday.
Each other. Just tell me, did you sleep with her?
Okay, I slept with her. You happy?
Did you say, am I happy?
You gotta be.
Oh God, here he comes.
Oh, Jasper, what's the story with you two anyway? I'm head over heels, you know.
Everybody, may I introduce the newly engaged Jasper Blue?
I hate my horrible life.
Iris and Amanda are in exactly the same place.
Where do I want to go? By myself? Depressed at Christmas.
Just 6,000 miles apart.
Home exchange. We switch houses, cars, everything. Bingo. I need you to answer this.
Are there any men in your town?
Perfect.
See, I bet you didn't realize that this was actually a lesbian romantic comedy in disguise, and no, of course it's not. For some, that would have made this movie a lot more interesting. Or, you know what, the movie itself, I'll get to that in just a second here, but, you can tell what the plot of the movie is. Kate Winslet and Cameron Diaz stars these two lovelorn women from opposite sides of the Atlantic Ocean who, you know, after they get heartbreak from their boyfriends, they decide to go on this home exchange to escape heartbreak during the holiday season, and they end up falling in love with these two other men in their lives, Jude Law when Cameron Diaz visits England, and Jack Black when Kate Winslet visits America. And yeah, it's a very formulaic plot. You can kind of tell exactly where it's going to go. You can kind of tell where the story is going to go overall. But, you know, with most romantic comedies, that's what you kind of have to expect with a movie like this. Like, the one thing that can carry the weight of the movie is the cast overall. And this is a really charming cast in this movie. Kate Winslet, Cameron Diaz, Jack Black, Jude Law. The director is Nancy Meyers, who usually cannot do any wrong whatsoever. And this is another movie where she really does make it work as a whole. It's a really fun little romantic comedy that works very well. And it shows what Jack Black can do as an actor as a whole. You know, this is a very different... It is Jack Black like we usually see him, but he's more restrained in this performance. And I think that works very well to his advances at, you know, trying to woo Kate Winslet. And you can buy into the chemistry between Jude Law and Cameron Diaz, as well as Kate Winslet and Jack Black as a whole. And the movie overall works very well. It works because there is a lot of good talent in the cast. There's a lot of very good, funny moments in the film. There's a lot of good fun factors about the film as a whole that just make it such an enjoyable film to watch, even especially during the holiday season. And it's just a really entertaining film. It's a good comfort food movie. It's probably the best way to describe this movie. It's a good comfort food film. You can watch it, you go into it not really expecting it to like blow you away or something, but you just want to watch it and just take your mind off some bad things that happen in your life, and just you watch it and you feel so much better afterwards. I mean, I've watched this movie so many times on bad days, and it just really uplifted me more. Like, it really got me back on track and saying, hey, don't give up on the world just yet. You know, like what Linus said at the end of A Boy Named Charlie Brown. Did you notice something, Charlie Brown? The world didn't come to an end. Like, when I feel that way when I watch this movie. It's a very enjoyable film. It's a very good film overall. Good funny moments, a really strong cast to make it work, and a great director in Nancy Meyers. It's a really good film. I really enjoy it a lot. Definitely check it out for holiday. With that said, let's move on to the next film we have here. Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Connelly, and Djimon Hounsou starring Edward Zwick's Blood Diamond.
Africa, it's all about diamonds. You owe me money. I'll take a stone as payment. My son!
The only reason you're still alive is because you haven't told anyone where it is. The right stone can buy anything. Safety, even freedom. What's it gonna be, bro? Kill them all!
Leonardo DiCaprio, Blood Diamond.
So the story of the movie is that this is set during the Sierra Leone Civil War of 91 to 2002, in between 1991 and 2002, where it depicts a country torn apart by the struggle between government loyalists and insurgent forces. It also portrays many of the atrocities of the war, including the rebels' amputation of civilians' hands to discourage them from voting in upcoming elections. You got Leonardo DiCaprio in here as this kind of diamond smuggler, and Jennifer Connelly's also in here playing, who does she play in this movie? It's been a long time since I've seen this movie. I can't remember exactly who she plays in this. She plays as American journalist in the movie. I thought she was a newspaper editor, but she's a journalist, newspaper editor, kind of the same thing pretty much. But Djimon Hounsou is the guy that gets caught up in the middle of this whole thing, and the movie really works. I mean, Edward Zwick very rarely misses as a filmmaker. Neither does really. Leonardo, the talent in this movie really hardly ever misses. Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Connelly, Djimon Hounsou has proven time and time again how good of an actor he really is. And I think this was the first time he was ever nominated for an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. I could have sworn he was nominated for Amistad, but when I checked it before, it didn't have his name on there. I mean, I might need to do my research again. Hold on. Was nominated for a Golden Globe for Amistad, but not the Oscar. Although he was nominated for an Oscar for In America back in 2003. So yeah, regardless, it's the second time being nominated for an Oscar. And this movie, I think, really shows what this guy can do as an actor as a whole, and he does not get the proper attention that I think he deserves as a whole. Like, he's proven time and time again how good of an actor he can really be, and this is definitely his magnum opus in terms of one of his best acting jobs overall. Just a really good film overall, really entertaining film, really engaging political thriller. Can't recommend it enough. Definitely one you should definitely check out, Blood Diamond. With all that said, let's move on to the last one we have here. Another Warner Brothers release. This time it's Paul Fahey directing the Christmas comedy Unaccompanied Minors.
Due to near blizzard conditions, all flights have been canceled. On behalf of Hoover International Airport, happy holidays.
I don't want to see Santa!
Get on Santa's lap!
I don't want to!
I got unaccompanied minors!
Is this some kind of prison?
Could be worse.
My security team can handle anything that comes up. Who's going to take care of them? You are, Van Bork. Give me 5. I'll be in my office watching your every move on camera. Merry Christmas.
This is still not the Christmas I had in mind.
I'm getting us out of here. So who's with me?
Probably a little word of advice. If you're releasing a Christmas movie after Thanksgiving, 9 times out of 10, it's not a good movie per se. We've had a couple of exceptions. I mean, last week we looked at The Nativity Story, which is a really good film. But here's an example of one of the many reasons why most Christmas movies do not do well after December. And I forgot, The Muppet Christmas Carol also came out after Thanksgiving. So, 2 movies in particular that are perfect examples of how to do it the right way with Muppet Christmas Carol and Nativity Story. This one, not so much. Spencer and his little sister Catherine are flying to Pennsylvania to be with their dad for Christmas. During a layover, a blizzard moves in and cancels all flights out of Hoover International Airport. They must stay in the basement room with other unaccompanied minors, Spencer and 4 others. A chubby boy, a non-stop talker, a surly girl, and a rich kid go AWOL and get in trouble with Mr. Porter, the Christmas-hating airport supervisor, played by Lewis Black, because why not typecast Lewis Black in a movie like this? I guess they were really trying to push him this year. This is like the 3rd film I've seen him in 2006. They spend the night evading and enduring his punishments, discovering all sorts of things in back rooms, making sure Catherine gets his visit from her visit with Santa, and finding a new kind of family among themselves. And yeah, this is a pretty dumb movie as a whole. This is really not a good film. This is about as generic of a kids movie as you can get, and one that's not even a good kids movie. One that's clearly written by people who have no idea what the kids of 2006 really think is entertainment, and just write whatever they feel like whatever they think the kids of 2006 would think is funny. And yeah, you can see it throughout that trailer. I mean, the kid burping and everybody just clapping their hands, like. That's the style of comedy we got here in this movie. And this has also got a lot of names to it, too, you know. Not just Lewis Black, but you see Wilmer Valderrama, Kelso from that... No, not Fez from That 70s Show. Tyler James Williams from Everybody Hates Chris. Brett Kelly from Bad Santa. I mean, a lot of notable names in this movie, but they're not really given a whole lot to do here in particular. And the film just isn't funny at all. It's a boring movie, man. Like, there is just nothing of value in this film whatsoever. This isn't like Deck the Halls, where everything about it is just so awful. There is a possibility for a good movie here. There's a lot of ideas you could do here that could work. And as we've seen later on down the road, Paul Fahey will find his true calling in filmmaking and make a lot of really good films. But this is definitely one of those movies that feels like he was kind of lost in the shuffle, didn't know how to make a proper film in general that could work as a whole, and the end result speaks for itself. It's a film that is really lazy, it's not funny or clever, and it just feels more like a bore than a watch that people should go out and see around the holidays. It just feels like a film that was clearly made to just get it out there, because they know it's going to make quick money, because it's going to be playing on TV for the next 20 years. And sure enough, it's playing on TV this year. I think on either Freeform or AMC. It's one of the 2 years. This is usually it's 1 year or the other. 1 year it'll be AMC. The next year it'll be Freeform. Like, it'll be on one of those years. But that's the movie. That's what I feel like the movie's only reason for existence is because they know it's going to be playing every year, and these people probably have never seen this movie since then, because there's not really nothing in here that makes this movie memorable by any means necessary. Like, bad movie overall. What more can you say? Unaccompanied Minors. But hey, it's better than Deck the Halls, so there's that, I guess. And so with all of that said, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies, and the next time we meet, we've got a lot of big awards contenders, a lot of big fantasy family holiday adventures coming your way next time around. In the middle of December, we've got the Will Smith movie, The Pursuit of Happiness, which introduced the world to his son Jaden Smith and got Will Smith an Academy Award nomination. Fox's attempt to try to create the next Lord of the Rings with Aragon. Live-action version of E.B. White's Charlotte's Web, which was already made into a successful animated movie. Can it work on the live-action format? Probably one of the biggest Oscar contenders this year. The star-studded Dreamgirls with Beyonce Knowles, Jennifer Hudson, Annika Noni Rose, and Jamie Foxx and Eddie Murphy in the film. And also we have George Clooney, Tobey Maguire, and Kate Blanchett in The Good German. And we'll take a look at those movies all on the next episode. So a lot of notable films to talk about next time around. Like I said, we'll delve into those on the next episode. But until then, thank you so much for watching. And if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the place on the next page to check out the previous episode. And also, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notification button, because you get updates on when new videos come out. And we post new videos here every day. Now, with all that said, I am off. I will see you guys next time. And until then, as always, take care.